Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how I deal with kikuyu grass when it grows into your garden beds. I have to say that for people like myself who have a buffalo lawn or have garden beds that are full of plants, one of our biggest fears is having kikuyu pop up in your garden beds. Kikuyu grows under the ground and it can just pop up anywhere and cause all sorts of problems with your garden, and once it gets a hold it's really hard to get rid of. I actually do have a fair bit of kikuyu that actually grows in my buffalo lawn. It seems to just pop up during winter, and then during summer it seems to retreat and you see mostly buffalo in the lawn. But I'll also do some other videos that will look at how I deal with it in the lawn and how I keep it under control. But this particular video I'll be showing you how I deal with kikuyu that's popped up into my garden beds. I've actually got an example here which I'll run through with everybody. Well, here's a bit of a close-up. I'll zoom in a bit more and I'll show you. You can see the kikuyu, it's actually popped up in my garden bed here. It's actually showing up right here, poking through, trying to get some sunlight, and it's obviously grown underneath the plants and is now poking through. A bit of a concern, depending how far it's actually traveled underground, or whether it's going to pop up anywhere else. But this is the bit that's come out so far, so it's a good idea to get this treated as soon as possible to deal with it so it doesn't spread any further. What you can do, you can see underneath here, there's a bit where it's actually grown from underneath. It's obviously come from the lawn, grown underground, and it's established itself underneath these plants. So what I'm going to do today is actually poison this and this bit up here, and I'll show you how I do it in such a way that nothing else gets poisoned in the garden. So what I'll be doing is making up some weed killer. So what I'm using is just your standard weed killer that you can buy at the local hardware shop. They're all basically glyphosate. This one here is the concentrate, so what I'll do is I'll mix it with water. I'll probably create a slightly stronger mix than what's recommended on the label, simply because we're not going to apply a big area on the plant. We want it to have some results rather than being too weak. What I'm going to do is mix it in a jar, and we've got our paintbrush that we'll use to paint onto the particular weed that we want to kill. So I've got my jar here. We'll put it on the scales to work out exactly how much water I'm putting in there. So that there is about 200 mils. So to kill grasses, it actually states to use 15 mils per litre. So we've got 200 mils in there. So whatever we do here, we divide it by 5 to get the right quantity. So like I said earlier, we'll probably go slightly stronger. So we'll probably go 20 mils per litre. With 20 divided by 5, it's 4. I've got a measuring cup here. It is in increments of 5 mils. So what we'll do is we'll just put in 5 mils and that should do it. Okay, that's 5 mils there. We'll throw that in. Give that a tiny little rinse. As well. And there you go. We'll shut the jar. Give a bit of a swirl around, make sure it's mixed properly. Don't want to splash anywhere. There you go. Jar. We're going to use this all up today. So it's not going to leave anything in the jar for anybody to tamper with or do anything with. We've got plenty of things to poison around the place. We've got plenty of weeds in the brick paving that I can brush on or actually put into a sprayer and spray that as well. But we'll start off with our kikuyu grass that's growing in the garden beds. So what I do in order to deal with the kikuyu in the grass, and the way I protect all the other plants, is that I take a big piece of cardboard. So most important thing is you've got to protect the other plants. You don't want to get glyphosate on those other plants because you'll end up killing more than just the kikuyu grass that you're chasing. So what I do is I get this piece of cardboard. This is a good piece here because it's got a few holes. And what I do is I actually put it through like so, And what I do is I'll thread through the grass. I'll thread it through. I'll get enough coating out here. And then what we'll do is we'll apply a bit of glyphosate on that kikuyu, and we'll keep the cardboard there until it dries. That way we don't get any of that contact of that glyphosate on any other plants in the garden that might kill other things. We've got our glyphosate that's been mixed, ready to go. And we've also got a paintbrush here to spread it on to the grass that we want to kill. I've also brought out a brick because what's important is to make sure that this cardboard doesn't blow away or move and end up causing other problems in the garden. So what I'll do is I'll put this brick here, make sure the kikuyu is exposed like that, and we're ready to go. The glyphosate. Try to keep everything up there, don't want anything to get affected. We've got the glyphosate here, it's being mixed, it's ready to be applied. I'll just apply it onto the grass like so, put it onto the cardboard. Shouldn't matter, it's not that wet, it won't go through to the other side. But we're just going to make sure that it's all coated, because what it does need to do is that glyphosate will be soaked in through this foliage here. It'll spread all the way down to the rest of the grass and should end up killing the whole kikuyu that's growing out of these plants. So there you go, it's as simple as that. Make sure you don't drip any of this weed killer on any other plants, and that should do the trick. So what we'll do is we'll come back in about a week's time and we'll see what's happened to this grass, see if it's yellowed off and died, and see how successful we've been. But it is a technique I use a fair bit in my garden, and it seems to work quite well across the garden. What we'll also do is we'll leave the cardboard on here for a little while. We'll wait for it to dry, and then we can always remove the cardboard. There's no need for it to stay for the whole week. Just once it's dried and there's no threat of the glyphosate spreading onto other plants, then we should be able to take the cardboard away. That way we're not affecting the other plants, depriving them of sunlight and causing it to yellow off or have any other problems. So there you go, there you have it. Like I said, we'll come back in about a week's time. We'll have a look to see what happens and see if it's yellowed off and died. And like I said, I've got a bit of kikuyu in my buffalo lawn, and I will be doing further videos in future to show you how I treat the kikuyu that's in my buffalo lawn. Especially this time of year, we're starting to get kikuyu coming up to the top, and I'll show you how I deal with that. Alright, thank you for watching.